All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel. As always, glad to have you here. So, let's talk about this event. I don't like this event. If you caught my stream last night, this event is structured in a way that is incredibly frustrating. I'm going to jump into the event and I'm going to just talk about my thoughts of it. And that is, so let's go in. I could get much further, but it would require a lot of good RNG and it would take me hours for mediocre rewards because you're not going to get good rewards until you get really far into this event. And that's going to take a long time. So how is it? What is this event? Long story short, it's like a tower. Each row is 5 sets of fight. It's 5 fights. So you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5 fights, 6 rows. There you go. Right? It gets increasingly difficult as you go. You fight, you fight, you fight. You get to the portal, and then you move on to the next 5. Now, here's the kicker of why this is so frustratingly difficult. Because of this fault right here. When the last enemy character takes fatal damage, a random allied character is killed. You have no control over who is going to get killed, but after each fight, one of your characters is going to die. It doesn't matter how strong your team is, one character is going to die. Now, if we think about that, up until the 30th fight, there are 29 fights before that. What does that mean? That means 29 of your characters are going to die in this fight, in this game mode, which means you need a total of 34 well-built characters. Now, I'm going to show this as a point. By this point, I'm at the end of the second row, and the fights are already at 2.79 million. This is around, or 2.7 million. We are talking 2.7 million. You are already sitting in the difficulties of chapter 30 and row 2. Mind you, by this point, 9 of my characters have been killed because of the fault. 9. Now, the way I operate, as I've been telling everyone, you need, about 15 total really good characters built up. By now, you should be working on 10. So that means that of my 10 built up characters, 9 of them are dead. Now, granted, I try to start with weaker characters, but that's besides the point. Now, there's a lot of things I have a problem with this. It's random who dies. So, you know what ended up happening to me if you watch my stream last night? My leaders kept dying. What am I supposed to do when my leaders are dead? I lost my synergies. What am I supposed to do? And then I reset, and then my key character or my DPS died. What am I supposed to do? It's incredibly frustrating. And to me, this is the antithesis of fun. I get what you're trying to do with the faults. I get it. There's something going against the player. Fine. But to just this is artificial difficulty. This is the definition of artificial difficulty. This is saying that one of your characters is going to die. Regardless of how built they are, it doesn't matter. Your character's going to die. That's not fun. Why did I build up my team? I've been spending all this time working on these teams. I'm telling everyone you should build up 5 to 10 characters right now. And then nope. Sorry. This should have been an easy, just here you got, get as far as you can. No fault, no nothing. Just make it fun. And you know what fun it would be? Trying to see how far you get. Someone had a great idea. And there was a couple of my commenters that were saying this. I can actually look who was saying this. So I think it was Riru, and I think I might be and Runes. I think Rune Master and Riru, I think, were the 2 people who were talking about this. And they were essentially saying, what if at the end of this each fight there was a revive? You get to the like make it to this the wormhole, and there's a revive right before it. So you have to beat the 5, and even with the, like one of your characters dying, I think that's interesting. I would be down for that because then at least you're making it interesting. I have to move my character around. I gotta figure out how to make my teams work. That's cool. I'm gonna be real with you. That's cool. That makes this interesting. I gotta try it a lot, and I gotta make it work, and that means I'm gonna want those rewards. The next thing, but here's the issue with that: all the good rewards don't happen until the end. So you're telling me 99% of your player base is not even going to remotely access any of this. And you're like, well, you are playing as if there are people on the beta server, then make the beta server one harder. But the global cannot compete with that. And I was looking at the Discord earlier today. 99% of people are not getting anywhere near this. Most of your players, guys, and I'm on to put in context right now. So if you see other videos, just FYI, I'm at 38.3. Currently I'm 38.2. I'm rank 8. And this server started day 1 global. I'm rank 8. And I can, and if I were just to sit there and go min max and get everything perfect and waste 3 hours of my day, yeah, I make it, maybe halfway through the the node 3 or wormhole 3 or whatever it is. For what? If I go back here, so I can get a couple epic shards, 30 epics at most. Yeah, that's what I'm fighting for. 30 epic shards. Why isn't it at the last one, each one of these? Why isn't, the end of each fight is some 10 of those eighth medals. So you're enticing players after they want to beat the one right before the wormhole, because that's where you're getting your eighth medal. So you're really gonna push. Like right now, I could push much further, but guess what? I don't care. The rewards are garbage. I don't care. You don't get the good ones until you're all the way down here. And I want to show you something. Okay, so I have a circle here. You're probably like, what are you doing? Okay. Now, what this circle is what we refer to in learning sciences as your zone of proximal development. Now, I'm going to be applying this relatively loosely. So, here's how zone of proximal development. We have a skill. This is us as a person. Now, we have this knowledge base that we can learn based on our skills. Now, as long as a skill, now this is what it's here. If anything outside of this circle is what we're going to call, it's too hard to learn. It's requiring too many skills. Like if I try to go learn how to become a plumber and I'm like, let me just jump into, plumbing right now without any schooling, it's going to be out here, right? I'm dealing with the task. Actually, let me erase that. It's more of like, it's like right here. It's out of my zone, right? It's out of my zone, and it will cause me frustration, failure. I won't be able to do anything because I don't have the skills necessary to bridge that, even though I maybe know how to use some, use power tools, blah, 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 blah. Plumbing is a very different ballgame, right? So just trying to go in and become a plumber without any schooling is going to yield this problem here. It is outside of my zone of proximal development, right? Now, if we apply a similar theory to us as players doing this event, where the majority of us, like if we want things that are like right here, where we can do the majority of the thing, and it's within the majority of the players' opportunity to at least get some of the rewards, or even out here. Out here is good too because it's I would you'd want more like right here, but it's like players can kind of get to it, right? Well, here's the thing where this event is. We can't get to it. This is where the current event is sitting right now. It is all the way out here at this outlier. This outlier is where we are talking about 99% of your player base cannot, 99% can't do this. 99% cannot complete this event. This is a very poorly structured event. I'm sorry. This was not tested well. And that's going to cause your players immense amounts of frustration. Like right now, I literally did this and I'm like, well, I'm not getting any further. Oh, well. I mean, someone was like, well, you could get, I'm like, I don't care. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. This is a poorly structured event. And in fact, there are people going around exploiting right now, which is even worse. You're I'm not encouraging exploitation at all. I actually tell people you should not using the exploit. People they can probably you are breaking terms of service if you do that. Just FYI, they can go after your account. I'm not going to tell people how to do it. I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to say there is an exploit. I'm not going to even say what it is because I don't want to get flagged for anything. All I'm going to say is you release it with a pretty relatively easy to do exploit, and people are going and potentially people are going to abuse them. And again, we just for the players watching this video, exploits are against terms of service. Do with that information what you will. Secondly, devs, 99% of your player base can't complete this event. That's not a good event. You've just told whales, guess what? You're not gonna be able to beat this. You're not gonna be able to beat this. Sorry. Good luck. You've invested in your account. We don't care. I get this is meant to be long term, but if you're gonna take this down in 4 days, why can't everyone at least get like maybe 25% of the player base can do it? 25? But like I'm at 38-3 and I can't even like I will probably make it past the second wormhole. And it's getting progressively harder. This is tuned way too much. And if you need to release two versions of it, then release two versions. I don't know. Or your players that have been playing for a while, you're trying to balance things for players that are in two different places. You need to just scale the if you're gonna keep it like this, you need to scale the difficulty differently because this isn't fair for global. We can't do this. Why did you release this? This is only frustrating your player base. And I'm kind of like this is normally I'm a pretty happy. I try to be really happy go lucky, or at least very positive. I found a positive spin on the Deathstroke thing, but when we factor in the Deathstroke thing, the other thing that I'm frustrated about. So there's this, and you knew what you were doing. Hold on, let me get my thing real quick. So we're gonna exit this. On top of this, you made a change to your store, which I think overall I like it. I think it makes things a little bit easier to read and yada yada yada. You took the $1 deals out. Why would they take the $1 deals out, you might ask? Because of the wish. The wish, you could spend $1 and you'd get a wish. And then you'd get any one of these rewards and it would roll around, yada yada yada. They took out the $1 deals. You could spend $1 a day and you could get this. Why would you do that? You literally just told players, hey, don't spend more money. You think players are now going to be like, oh, let me just, I really want the wish. Let me just go spend $5. No, you know what they're going to say? Sorry, put the dollar bill back. Give us the leveling titanium for $1. Why did you take that out? Why? That is not a smart decision. You literally just told players, don't spend money. And for your Dolphins that would spend maybe $1 a month, $1 a day, and do the titanium deal, you just said, sorry, don't do that. Don't give us money. That's what I was doing. I spent $1. And I was like, sweet, I got my $1. Not only did you get the $1 gone there, it was that you got rid of the $1 everywhere. Why? Why would you do that? Hmm? Why would you do that? It's not a good decision. You just told dolphins don't spend money. You just lost your dolphins. Hmm? So this is bringing these bigger issues, and there are patch notes. I'll go over those maybe at the last thing of this video. But we need to talk about a broader issue that's happening here. Is that there's two things that need to happen, and I don't really like talking in conclusions. And I'm not doom posting right now. This is I am talking from a point of wanting to give constructive feedback because these 2 points that I just brought up are pretty big deals. I want to talk about the first point, and that is we're not talking about communication anymore. In a way, we are and we aren't. Here, in this first part, these things need to be tested better internally before they're being released to players. Like, let's just say you had a couple content creators, you had a beta server, and we were sitting on the beta server and we were saying, okay, and you just threw it out and you said, what are your like here, test this event. What is your feedback on it? Do you know how fast I would have said you either need to revive at the end or you would have get rid of the fault? I would have told you that in 5 minutes. I think anyone angry for Alex, superhero, any one of them, they all would have said the same thing. You, this isn't free. This isn't friendly. Also, you need to tone down the power. 99% of your player base can't access this event. They're gonna get through like 3 of them. Also, you need to redistribute the rewards. At the end of the level should be at the end of right before the what the heck's that thing called? The wormhole. That's where you should be giving us the eighth medals. Why are the eighth medals only reserved for the very end? People aren't getting there. We're not achieving that zone. It's not within the zone of proximal development. It's not within the zone. People can't access it. That's not fair. You need a second thing. You need to bring back the dollar deals. Uh-huh. That's not fair to people. You're saying, here, don't spend any money. You think players are just going to be like, let me just spend $5 instead of $1? No, you know what they're going to say? Screw that. I'm not spending any money. So you just lost people's money. Come on, guys. Come on. Or you know what you could do every day? You want to really get people to spend money? You really want to get everyone to spend $1 a day? Put one set, a single set, in the store for $1 a day. I just solved your money problem. You want to imagine every player, you get 1,000 players dropping $1 a day for a set. Come on. There's a lot of ways you can monetize this. And instead, you're saying, no, the minimum you need to spend is $5. I'm just not going to do my wishes anymore. Sorry. That's all it did. That's all that decision that you just made right there. That's all the decision just did. That's it. That's all it did. I'm not going to spend $1 a day. I just won't go for wishes anymore. When I used to. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I would spend $1, $1. I'm not doing that anymore. I'll just wait. The wishes aren't worth it. Sorry. The second thing, we need to talk about this event. There needs to be internal testing on this stuff. You need to test these things better. We are now getting to a point where there are a multitude of mistakes being made and not calibrated properly to the player base. Like DCU Superman needed to be buffed. I wouldn't say Peacemaker needs a buff. I think he's in a better spot than Superman was when he was released. But I still think I don't think Peacemaker needs a buff, unfortunately. And I don't think you should buff him because what you're setting a precedence is saying is that we know we're going to release these characters underbaked. Just summon them for them because they're going to get buffed later. You should not be thinking like that. Maybe buff Peacemaker, but then you're now creating a norm that is like, well, we'll just buff him later. Well, you know what? We'll just buff him later means that nobody bought him when he was out because he was undertuned. So why didn't you just tune him properly when he was out, which would entice people to spend because the character's good? And then you're going to buff him when he's not out anymore and people can't spend on him. So you're just saying, well, there goes that money. Make it make sense. So you maybe contact us, create a beta server where we can help you test some of these things out. Content creators, there's Beard, there's Mr. Tankerson on the Reddit, there's tons of people in the Discord, there's tons of people leaving comments. Like, guys, there are a lot of players that love this game. And the reason I'm so frustrated with this event is because it is anti-fun. When it should have been easy fun. Easy fun mode. Easy fun mode. But instead you found a way to make it not fun at all. I was literally crashing out on my stream, just like, this is so not fun. I am actually not enjoying this. I'm just going to go do the other things in the game that I enjoy doing. Okay. I can go over this. I don't really want to. They fix some stuff. They change the store. So what do? They change the store. They reduce the cost. They're going to release some frames. Added some dampen to the league shop, the league fights. I could make another video on this, but I'm not going to. And I'm just content farming. And I'm just going to say this. They fix some stuff. There's some Victor stuff. There's one or two of these things I might talk through. Maybe I'll talk through them in a separate video at some point. Maybe later tomorrow. Or today. But this video, I really want this to sit with the devs. You gotta play test this stuff, because I don't know how this one made it past internal testing. It shouldn't have. It really shouldn't have. It should have been caught way beforehand. And if you guys approve this, then that's an even bigger issue. Because this is not fun. And when something is not fun, you know what people do? They stop playing. And this is a very fun game. Like, I literally on stream was like, you know what, I'm done with this event. I'm going to go play the other modes because I have fun doing them. And I just did my dailies because I enjoy doing my dailies. I enjoy it. I enjoy this game. I enjoy playing it every day. This event was the first time in the past 2.5 months. No, 2 months. I did not enjoy playing the game. This is the first time, and I didn't enjoy playing the game. I was not having fun. Let that sink in. How do you fix this? You need to revise your internal testing metrics. Ask us for help. Third thing you need to do, compensate the players. You should be giving everyone, maybe this is too much, but personally, you've been more generous in the past. You want to get on your players' good side right now, and you know how you fix all of this? You say, you know what, guys, we're really sorry. We overtuned this event. Here's all the rewards. We'll do better next time. And then we call it a day. And we know what? We chalk it up. And you know what? No one will complain. Everyone will be like, you know what? You're good. You guys are awesome. Thanks for giving us the rewards. And then we're done. You want to get right by players? That's what you need to do. When 99% of your player base can't access this stuff, I'm really sorry. You structured this poorly. You have to bite the bullet, say, you know what? We screwed up. Here you guys go. Now, this is not me saying, or you know what? Maybe even just give us half the rewards. Just, you know what? You give us 58th medals. Call it a day. We don't even get, because most of us probably shouldn't have even finished the whole thing. 58th medals. We call it a day. 58th medals. That's it. But I sitting at number 8 on my server, not even getting to node 9. If the event is that difficult, then why is it temporary? Then it should just stay up and it's something that I work towards. But since it's temporary, that means that you're going to re-release some things. Fine. But I should be able on the global server, because if you're going to make it harder, like I would imagine it's going to get harder over time, right? So then I should be able to, at this point in time, if I'm 8th on my server, hit up 80% of this at minimum. So you compensate us. We need to be compensated for this. This was a flub up, and there's an exploit on it right now. You need to compensate your players fairly, and then we chalk it up and say, you know what, we forgive you. Try to do better in the future. Maybe reach out to some prominent people in the community, and we help because players want to help. That's all I want to talk about in this video. I think I'm just venting my frustration in the sense that this was the first time I felt not fun. And I find doing my dailies enjoyable. I love doing my dailies in the game. You're probably like, you're kind of crazy. I enjoy doing dailies. I don't think I've missed a daily in this game's history. I've done the dailies for the past 2 months. I have done my dailies every day. Haven't missed a day. Today was the first day I felt no fun. I don't know what to say. You need to compensate us for this. I'm just being real with you. And I'm not saying, I mean, am I, you can even, 25 eighth medals seems fair. It really does, especially considering that there are exploiters going on right now on top of all of this too. Come on. These things need to be tested out, and they really, you have a great game here that is very fun. I will still say to this day, this has the best mobile game, like turn-based combat system. It is my favorite. I love playing this game. I think your team structures is awesome. I love Mr. T. I'm excited to see Judo Master. But you gotta build. You need to return the dollar deals, and you need to test these things before they hit the server. And it needs to be, the question is this fun? If the answer to that question is no, then you need to fix it before it gets to us. That's it for this video. I'm sorry to make this like a ranty video, but I will definitely say right now, I am frustrated. Am I doom posting this game? No. I think the game is fine. Overall, I think this is one event of many. One event right now that is just very frustrating. I think I am so frustrated because I was so looking forward to it. I was like, a new hard event, but I can't even do more than 20, 30, like 30% of it. Why is it not permanent then? If it's this massive mode, why is it here for 4 days? I don't know. And I don't have answers to these questions. Some communication would be nice right about now, devs. Communication and some compensation. Because ain't nobody getting any of this stuff. So then we're just going to be like, well, I don't want to touch it because I can't do it. And why isn't it just staying up permanently then? If it's so difficult that like players that have level 300 accounts are not able to do it, then okay, I'm not gonna rant anymore. I'm gonna make one video about this, and this is the video. I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. I'm gonna just keep going about my normal business, which is I like playing this game, and I'm gonna make videos for this game that I enjoy. That's it. This video is the last time I'm gonna talk about this. I mean, if you want to communicate with me and email me, I would love to. But again, I I got ideas. So do many other players. There's a ton of feedback things. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people with really great ideas to getting this game. I think making sure it stays on track of what it was intended to do. Okay, that's it for this video. Have a great day, folks. And remember, failing is just your first step to learning.